Everyone thinks Splatoon 4 is going to take 4 or 3 or even 5 years to release from the end of Splatoon 3, which recently happened. And I'm here to tell you that that is most likely not correct. And there's actually a lot of information that recently we got, and also old information that is just something we need to look at when it comes to when Splatoon 4 actually is going to release. I know there's a ton of Splatoon 4 videos out, and I'm not really just trying to do this because, oh, Splatoon 4 gets me clicks and views. I'm really doing this because I see a lot of people thinking that it's going to be 4 or 5 years until the next game, and I just want to inform you guys on what is actually happening and what we can actually expect. And with all that said, let's dive in. Before we dive in, I do want to remind you that if you like this video and you want to see more Splatoon and Nintendo videos in general, then please consider liking and subscribing. But if you don't really like Nintendo videos and this one video is the only one that you really cared about, then you don't have to subscribe. I hate it when people force people or pressure people into subscribing, and you don't have to if you don't want to. Before we jump in, I want to talk about one leak that actually is kind of reliable. The leaker did have a lot of good track record things that were going on. Their track record was good and all that, but I don't want to mention them because it turns out after people found out that they're actually a terrible person in real life, faked their identity online and everything, and they're gone now. They're not leaking anything because obviously once people expose you for being a terrible person, you don't want to be talking to them still about leaks. No one's going to care. But they did leak something. I'm not going to say their name, but they basically said there's a code name for another game in Nintendo called Spiral, and that is, after they did research, they figured out that it was some sort of Splatoon's next game, is what they said. I don't really know because that's all we got from this leaker. So as it comes to this leak, I think that Splatoon is in development, the next Splatoon game. It's probably in early stages, but I don't believe that this is entirely true or entirely false. I'm more on the fence about this leak. When it comes to patents, I know some Nintendo YouTubers talk about patents that Nintendo puts out, and I think that these are something that you can't really trust because they can be patents of something that has already been released and they are only just now patenting something. I don't think that these necessarily always have a lot of meaning, so I'm trying to get this one out of the way and not spend too much time on it. Basically, here's the patent. Basically, it has a name of a guy who did 3D modeling and stage design or something for the Splatoon 2 game, Splatoon Octo expansion, and Splatoon 3, and possibly side order. I'm not sure on that one. But basically, yeah, we have this, and I don't know if it's something that you want to put down as Splatoon 4. I don't know why they patent this. I don't know anything about patents, but yeah, here's this. So now we get to the most important part and the newer thing that I'm talking about, and that is the distance between these games and why I think it's going to be a lot less. Now, if you think about Splatoon 2 to Splatoon 3, the end of Splatoon 2 to the beginning of Splatoon 3 was about 4 years, and that it makes sense, right? Because that is, you gotta have time to develop a game, and that is what we are assuming for Splatoon 4, right? But when we look at Splatoon 1 to Splatoon 2, the end of Splatoon 1 to the beginning of Splatoon 2 was only a little bit more than a year, or around a year. And the reason that is because it is a console jump. They jumped from the Wii U to the Nintendo Switch, the very first Nintendo Switch, and they wanted a game, one of their big games, to show off that console's motion controls and all of the new stuff on the Nintendo Switch. And so they had Splatoon 2, and that's why I believe there's going to be less of a gap between Splatoon 3 and Splatoon 4. And there's a lot of other stuff I also want to talk about, so that's not everything. Don't click away yet. That's not everything. But also, I want to mention that it's not going to be a year, okay? We're not going to get Splatoon 4 this year. I do not expect that. Maybe a teaser at the very end of this year at best, but I don't think it's going to be this year. I think it would be 2026, and if anything, the end of 2026, because it's going to take time to develop a next Splatoon game, and it could even be not even called Splatoon 4. It could be called something else. Could be a whole new level of Splatoon. But whenever this next game comes out, I think it's going to be a lot sooner than 4 years because of the console jump and Nintendo wanting to show off their new console with a new Splatoon game. And I've mentioned this a few times in my other videos, and I've also, thought this for a while, but it was made a lot clearer to me with yesterday, as of recording this, Nintendo Switch 2 being revealed, and them confirming basically that we will have a mouse feature for the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons. And what other game would be better to show off that feature than on the Switch 2 with Splatoon's next game, Splatoon 4 or whatever? But like I said, I do not in any way believe that they're going to release the next Splatoon game in 2025. And if they do, it will definitely not be this close. So I think that they will most likely show off the mouse feature with Metroid Prime 4. Did I just say Prime? Whatever. Metroid Prime 4. And obviously, there are not a lot of other games to show it off with, though. If you think about it, they don't have a lot of games to show it off with. They really can't show it off with their biggest online game being Smash Bros. And they really can't show it off with Mario games either. Maybe a 3D Mario, but like that's not super helpful, right? I mean, it's not like crazy. A mouse is going to be most helpful when it comes to online play. And I think Splatoon 4 will be pushed a lot more, but not to 2025. And I do believe that this means Splatoon 4 will be not 5 or 4 years out into the future. Feel free to comment your thoughts down below, and while you're down there, consider liking and subscribing. But like I said, I'm not forcing anybody to like and subscribe. And if you don't like the video, please don't just spam hate. You can just click away from the video and forget it exists if you disagree. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next video. Later, guys.